Have you ever wondered why, despite healthy eating and regular exercise, your legs feel increasingly weak? Why do stairs seem steeper now? Why does rising from a chair take longer than before? Is it simply aging, or is something silently harming you? Here's where you might be surprised. The culprit isn't always what you're neglecting to do. It's what you're already doing without realizing its harmful effects. Most seniors make a quiet mistake daily, doing so with complete confidence, believing they're making the right choice because throughout their lives, they've been told that fruits are healthy, natural, and beneficial. Indeed, most are. But here's the truth nobody discusses. Not all fruits are appropriate for elderly people. In fact, some fruits, those we consume without question every week, can gradually weaken legs, cause knee pain, worsen joint inflammation, and make walking more difficult. Fruits marketed as healthful may actually be detrimental to your mobility, balance, and leg strength. You see, as we age, our bodies transform, circulation weakens, metabolism slows, and foods that once benefited us can now subtly begin to harm us, particularly certain fruits. They might appear harmless and taste sweet. However, they contain numerous acids, carbohydrates, and other substances that impact blood sugar levels, trigger joint inflammation, and weaken your legs. What's worse? The damage happens gradually, subtly, undetectably, until one day you experience sharp pain in your calves, persistent thigh discomfort, or strange knee tightness after just a short walk. Today, I'm going to reveal the 7 most dangerous fruits that any senior over 60 should avoid, especially if you want to protect your legs from long-term damage, pain, and weakening. None of these fruits are as innocent as they seem. After learning the truth, you'll never view your fruit bowl the same way again. So if you value your strength and want to maintain stable, strong, pain-free legs, stay with me until the end. Your body might be waiting for this wake-up call. But before we dive in, if you're concerned about your health, click the subscribe button and enable notifications. Because here, we reveal truths that nobody discusses. And I want to know if you're with me as you watch. If this video resonates with you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. You don't realize how important your voice is. Let's start by discussing the first fruit on our list. It's praised for its ability to reduce inflammation. However, it might be having the opposite effect on seniors. Let's talk about pineapple. Pineapple, the first fruit, the silent information collector. Pineapple, it's tropical. It's juicy, it's refreshing. And because of a substance called bromelain, it has been celebrated for years as a natural anti-inflammatory. Here's the twist, though. Although many believe pineapple reduces inflammation, it might be the silent culprit for seniors. Pineapple contains strong acids and natural sugars, and those sugars aren't as harmless as they might appear, especially if you're over 60. Let me explain. As we age, our blood vessels become more fragile and sensitive. They no longer respond to sugar spikes the same way. Despite its benefits, pineapple delivers a powerful dose of natural sugar to the bloodstream. How does that work? It rapidly raises blood sugar levels. That spike can damage the tiny blood vessels supplying your legs, feet, and muscles. Over time, circulation deteriorates. Less oxygen reaches your legs. And you know what that leads to? Pain, fatigue, swelling. That dull, dragging ache in your legs after a short walk. Standing with stiffness in your knees, your ankles suddenly hurting, even if you've been sitting all day. There's more. Besides being sweet, pineapple is acidic. That acidity can irritate joints, especially if you already have inflammation or arthritis. It fuels the fire already burning in your ankles, hips, and knees like gasoline. Some even notice their legs feel heavy after consuming pineapple, as if strength is gradually ebbing away. If you're taking any medications, particularly blood thinners, you should be aware of something else. The famous enzyme, bromelain. It may interact with certain medications, making them either too powerful or not powerful enough. But the most dangerous aspect is this: pineapple doesn't have significant obvious side effects. There are no clear signs or immediate pain. Instead, it infiltrates slowly until eventually you realize you can't move as you once could. The saddest part? Most seniors don't know that the fruit they eat for health reasons might contribute to the yearly weakness they experience in their legs. So what can you do? You don't need to hate pineapple, but you must know enough to speak up. Especially if you've been dealing with persistent leg pain or unexplained swelling. The damage is subtle, but real. Now, if pineapple, the fruit with anti-inflammatory properties, can be this bad for aging legs, what about the next one? It's soft, it's delicious, it's well known for boosting muscle strength and potassium levels, but it might be deceiving you. Let's discuss bananas. The second fruit. Bananas, the muscle imposter. Soft, sweet, and potassium-rich, bananas are a great food. They're said to provide energy, prevent cramps, and benefit muscles. However, for seniors, the situation differs. Bananas contain abundant, natural sugar and quickly digesting carbohydrates. This means your blood sugar levels rise immediately after eating, and when that happens frequently, your body begins to resist insulin. The flow weakens, inflammation increases, and your legs suffer as a result. You might experience dull soreness when walking or climbing stairs, heaviness in your legs after meals, and calf stiffness. The story doesn't end there. Additionally, bananas make you retain more fluid, especially if you have heart problems. This results in stiff joints, swollen feet, and swollen ankles. The effect is silent. You eat them believing they'll help your muscles. Instead, they might be gradually depleting your strength. The worst part comes next. It won't affect you immediately. But over time, eating bananas might make movement more difficult and cause more pain. Consider the fruits on your plate if you frequently experience heavy, aching, or swollen legs. Bananas may not be as friendly as they initially appear. What if something even smaller can achieve this effect? Bananas are known for supporting muscles, small, charming, and innocent looking, but they might be causing your joints to burn. Let's talk about grapes. The third fruit, grapes. Small fruit, significant inflammatory effect. Grapes, they appear innocent, tiny, juicy, easy to eat as a snack. They also have an outstanding reputation, heart healthy, packed with antioxidants. However, most people aren't aware of this. Elderly people may experience mild leg pain, stiffness, and inflammation when eating grapes. Why? Because grapes contain fructose, a substance that can be harmful in high concentrations, a sugar directly absorbed by the liver, and when your liver can't process it completely, it becomes fat and uric acid. That's when the real damage begins. Uric acid accumulates in the joints, particularly in the toes, ankles, and knees. It causes an intermittent burning and swelling pain, that nagging discomfort, making even light walking difficult. Have you ever experienced that piercing pain in your big toe at night? That sudden stiffness in your calves? It might be something as minor as a handful of grapes raising your uric acid. Furthermore, it doesn't stop there. Fructose also fuels chronic inflammation in your body. This means slower movement, increased pressure, and stiffness. Grapes are also too easy to overindulge in. They're small enough to snack on. They don't feel heavy. But before you realize it, you've consumed 2 or 3 cups. Additionally, the sugar accumulates quickly. Therefore, while grapes might seem like a healthy snack, they may subtly weaken, reduce flexibility, and make your legs less comfortable as you age. Now, what might be hiding behind that sweetness if you've been eating grapes regularly and experiencing increasing stiffness and swelling? But there are other delicious fruits that can be harmful besides grapes. Another is luscious, vibrant, and famous for its hydrating properties. Don't be fooled, though. Inside, it functions like sugar, even though it tastes like water. Let's talk about a watermelon. The fourth fruit is watermelon, the false hydrator. Watermelon, light, refreshing, a symbol of hydration in summer. Could this watery fruit be silently damaging your legs? Isn't that strange? Since everyone agrees watermelon is good for staying hydrated, it feels safe, has few calories, and is mostly water. Here's the secret though. Watermelon has an extremely high glycemic index. This means it raises blood sugar levels quickly, just like candy. And those frequent sugar spikes cause significant harm to seniors, particularly to their legs. Let's break it down. Your body releases insulin when blood sugar levels rise rapidly. However, insulin is poorly regulated in aging bodies. This results in inflammation, especially in areas with poor circulation. Where does it appear? Your calves, ankles, knees. Leg fatigue might occur right after eating. A dull pain during quick walks. That strange, persistent swelling around your ankles. Climbing stairs starts to feel like scaling a mountain. Watermelon has a light texture. Inside, however, it acts like a charming trap, gently wearing down your legs. Most people eat plenty of it because it's juicy and refreshing. One slice becomes two, then three. More sugar, more stress, increased inflammation. It's misleading. You think you're consuming water. Instead, your blood sugar is spiking.
Your circulation struggles. Your legs suffer consequently. Does watermelon actually help seniors stay hydrated? Or does each bite subtly increase movement discomfort? It might be time to reconsider if the watermelon on your plate is erratic and your legs have been feeling more tired lately. Let's move to a fruit associated with vitamin C and health. It appears in juices, immunity-boosting drinks, and breakfast. Seniors, however, may experience an acidic attack on their joints. Let's discuss oranges. Oranges are the fifth fruit, the acid attack on joints. Oranges. They're bright. They have a fresh scent, and they're everywhere. Juices, health supplements, breakfast plates. They're said to boost immunity due to vitamin C. However, oranges may hide an unpleasant reality for seniors, particularly those over 60. Acid, which your joints dislike, lies behind that citrus glow. Oranges contain abundant citrus. Though that might seem normal, it can cause quiet joint irritation, especially if your body is already fighting inflammation, stiffness, or arthritis. Upon waking, you might experience gradual knee stiffness, persistent hip pain, that uncomfortable feeling in your legs after sitting for long periods, decreased mobility, and increased swelling. You might think it's simply aging. However, that healthy habit of drinking orange juice every morning might contribute to the very pain you're trying to prevent. Here's what actually happens. The citric acid in oranges affects more than just the stomach. It enters your bloodstream and can aggravate your joints' delicate tissues. Additionally, when combined with the fruit's natural sugar, it causes blood sugar fluctuations. And what results from that? Inflammation throughout the body. Every step feels a bit heavier and more painful due to inflammation spreading to your knees, ankles, and calves. You see, oranges might not harm a younger person, but in an elderly individual with aging joints and slower circulation, the effect develops subtly. The hardest part is that you're doing it believing you're benefiting yourself. Since oranges have long been associated with wellness, you now know they might not be good for your health. What next? The following fruit looks neat: green, crisp, and lower in sugar. People believe it's the safe option, but it hides something that can cause nighttime cramping, tight knees, and aching hips. Now let's discuss green apples. Green apples, the sixth fruit, are a secret cause of leg pain. They look crisp, clean, and organic. Additionally, most people, especially seniors, believe they're the healthier choice because they taste less sweet. They seem like a healthy, low-sugar snack. However, most people aren't aware of this. Green apples might subtly cause fatigue, stiffness, and leg pain. Malic acid and hidden natural sugar are the two threatening factors. First, let's discuss malic acid. Green apples get their sour flavor from this acid. And while it's great for young people, it can be uncomfortable for aging digestion. Our gut lining becomes more sensitive with age. Additionally, once malic acid enters the body, it can irritate tissues, including joints. After eating apples, some elderly people experience severe hip or thigh pain. Others feel mild heat in their feet or knee tightness. It takes time to occur, but as time passes, the acid accumulates and pain frequency increases. Now let's talk about sugar. Even though they don't taste as sweet as red apples, green apples still contain natural sugars. And that sugar causes blood sugar fluctuations in elderly people with slower metabolisms. Your calves might be tired, your legs might cramp at night, you might feel morning stiffness or weakness when climbing stairs. The most challenging aspect is that green apples are often consumed raw as a snack or even before bedtime. Consequently, they continuously affect the body. They appear very healthy and pure. However, green apples might be subtly making walking harder, stiffening joints, and making evenings more restless for aging bodies. What about a tropical, rich, extremely sweet fruit that can have such effects if a basic fruit can? The one beloved by many. Let's discuss the true sugar bomb, mango. Mango, the seventh fruit, is a sugar explosion for your joints. Mango, juicy, soft, candy sweet. Almost everyone likes this fruit, especially during summer. Here's the truth though. Mango might be the most harmful fruit for elderly people with joint weakness and leg pain. Why? Because it contains much natural sugar. I don't mean a little either. I'm talking about a significant sugar punch that will sharply and quickly raise your blood sugar. Now, if you're active and under 30, your body can often handle that rise. However, after 60, your metabolism changes. That sugar rush causes an insulin spike followed by a crash. And each time this happens, your body produces inflammation deep within your joints, particularly in the soft tissues around your ankles, hips, and knees. Especially with nerve problems, you might feel burning in your toes, persistent tingling, evening foot swelling, or creeping leg heaviness. Because mango tastes light, feels fresh, and doesn't seem like a big meal, it's easy to eat larger portions, worsening the situation. That's the trick, though. The light sensation means nothing to the body. The sugar makes it react. And over time, that sugar may cause joint pain, slow walking, and unsteady legs. Many elderly people eat mangoes thinking they're a natural treat. It is natural. But natural doesn't always mean safe for weaker circulation and aging joints. Now you've seen the complete picture. Despite being praised for their health benefits, 7 fruits have a negative aspect for people over 60. However, here's the good news. Some fruits have the opposite effect. They promote strong, sturdy legs, reduce joint pain, and fight inflammation. Next, let's discuss those, the therapeutic alternatives, and what seniors should eat instead. Now that you know which fruits to avoid, let's move on to what you can eat. Because eating the right fruits does more than satisfy hunger. They heal your body. First, let's talk about berries, blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, etc. These small fruits are powerful anti-inflammatory agents. They're gentle on blood sugar, high in antioxidants, and low in sugar. Above all, they improve circulation, especially in the legs. They facilitate easier movement, combat stiffness, and reduce swelling. Next, cherries, but in moderation. In fact, cherries can help lower uric acid, reducing the likelihood of gout and joint pain flare-ups. They soothe sore joints and that burning sensation in your knees or toes. A handful of cherries, not a bunch, can provide significant relief. Avocado comes next. Yes, it's a fruit, and it's among the best for healthy joints. Why? Because it contains many good fats that reduce inflammation inside your body and cushion your joints. Additionally, it helps regulate insulin, providing steady energy without blood sugar fluctuations. Looking for something easily digestible? Try papaya. This tender tropical fruit contains enzymes that reduce inflammation and aid digestion. It's gentle on aging joints and easy on the stomach. Also, remember to eat pears with a small amount of fiber or protein. They provide subtle sweetness without being overly sweet. They give your body energy without unduly straining your legs. Instead of working against your body, each of these fruits supports it. They don't cause discomfort. They don't make you swell. They help your body achieve the vigor, balance, and tranquility it seeks. Remember, it's not just about eating fruit. It's about choosing the right ones for your age, fruits appropriate for your body now. And you begin to feel it when you consciously make those choices. Firmer steps, calmer movements, clearer mornings. Let's conclude with some final remarks, words of wisdom, and a message specifically for you. If you've read this far, one thing tells me you care about your future, your strength, and your health. And I want you to hear this clearly. It's not too late for you to change. You still have time to recover. And you're not alone in this. Aging is difficult. The pain, stiffness, and fear of falling come gradually, and sometimes they can make you feel like your body is disappearing. But here's the reality. You can take control by making smart, modest changes rather than extreme measures. One meal, one fruit, one decision at a time. Although the fruits we discussed today aren't harmful, they might no longer be best for your health. And that's okay, because growing older doesn't mean giving up. It's about being smarter. You'll notice a difference when you start eating mindfully and selecting foods that promote strength, circulation, and joint health. Less pain, more flexibility, smoother mornings, lighter steps. That's the point of this. Charity, not fear or limitation. Now I'd like to hear from you. Tell us what you learned today and what change you're prepared to make in the comments section below. Since we all grow when we share, let's help each other. Please hit the like button if this video helped you or even slightly opened your eyes. Click subscribe to ensure you don't miss any information that could change your health. Turn on notifications. Before leaving, please enter 1 if this video was useful. If not, type 0. You may not realize how important your comment is. Stay resilient and observant, and never forget that your legs carry your independence. Keep them safe.